my beautiful buds. Welcome back to my channel, Sprouts with Joy. My name is Joy, and if you'd like to talk about plants, you're in the right place. You saw the title of the video. It's January favorites. And actually, I used to only do seasonal favorites, but this year, in the year of 2023, I kind of want to try doing actual monthly favorites. So if you support that decision, let me know. If you loathe that decision, also do let me know. But be a little bit nice about it, please, maybe. We're gonna go through the plants, plenty things that have been standing out to me in this cold, bitter, sad month of January. These things have brought me little bits of happiness throughout this dreary month, so let's commence. The first plant that I just have to talk about is my philodendron atabapoense. This was a wish list plant for a really long time, and I could not be more thrilled with how he's doing. He's honestly super low maintenance and super easy. I just water him when these lower leaves start getting a little bit more droopy. That just signals to me that he's a little bit thirsty, and sure enough, he perks right back up when I water him. I'm currently air layering him, and I have not checked to see if he has any aerial roots yet, but it kind of looks like, here, now that I'm looking at him more closely, I don't know how well you can see that, but do you see that right there? He shot out a root from this node that's covered by the moss, and it's stretching out behind the saran wrap where the humidity is still pretty high, and it's starting to kind of get into this pole. It's digging itself in. So that's pretty awesome. I have not really successfully rooted plants into moss poles pretty much ever, like with the exception of a very few random one-off situations. But this guy, I think, actually takes really well to moss poles, it seems. I did buy him on this pole already. So I don't really know what I'm gonna do once he's pretty much already reached the top. And obviously I'm air layering with the intent to chop him, take a top cut, maybe start it over. But when I do start him over, I'm not entirely sure how I wanna grow him. Like if I want him to go up a plank or a moss pole, or I don't know. I don't think I want to attempt to extend this pole. My child is waking up, so I might have to take a quick break. But before he does, this is the newest leaf that this plant has put out. Look, it's a long, beautiful leaf. I love the lobed leaf look. It's just so pretty. And obviously, you have to admire the backs of the leaves. They're so fun. This leaf does look like it's gonna be smaller because it doesn't have support. So it's like, wait a second, what are you doing to me? But yes, hopefully I can remedy that situation. And I mean, obviously he's looking like he's rooting really well. Oh my goodness, here's another root. I just see. Can you see that? Right there? Yeah, that's another little root. And that rooted really quickly because, I don't know, I think this has been on here like 3 weeks to a month or something like that. I don't know. So yes, philodendron atabapoense. It's a stunner. It's really easy, and it's been doing some fun things this month. I'm excited to see what happens. I'm excited to open up this moss and delve into that. I don't know, there's a lot of possibilities, a lot of stuff to consider with this guy. So that's always fun, like when your plants are doing fun things, you know? So the next plant is actually the newest plant in my collection. I decided to include it in my favorites video because I kind of want to give it some more exposure, and it's really an intriguing plant. So this right here, look first, just look at it. Take a moment, take it in. This is a homalomena humilis red velvet. At least that's the name that was on the little pot when I picked it up. It was $15, and there were a bunch of these at my local garden center, and I had never seen them before, like ever. Obviously, like I have heard of homalomena, and I have wanted to kind of break into that genus. It seems pretty similar to philodendron, but this one in particular really stood out to me because of the leaves. They look like autumn, like they look like autumn leaves, you know, like that deep red and yellowy and oh, it's such a vibe. And I'm very into it and very, very excited to grow this plant. You'll have to let me know if you have this plant or if you've even heard of it, if you have any care tips, because literally I have no idea. I'm just assuming it's similar to philodendron or to, you know, any other aroid. So that's sort of just my basis for its care, but I don't really know anything about it other than that. You know, I should have researched it more, but I was also trying to chase not only my toddler, but also my best friend's toddler because she was also with me in the garden center. So I just didn't really have time to think about it before making the purchase, but I wanted to try it out. And you know, it's $15, so it's not like a huge financial sink or anything like that. Honestly, I would pay $15 just to have the experience of growing out a new plant and seeing how it does in my home. So yes, wow. I really hope that he does well, obviously. But who knows? But he's pretty striking. Like at first glance when I saw him at the nursery, he didn't really grab my eye, but then I looked closer at these leaves and they honestly remind me of micans, and they're really velvety and soft. And the leaves also kind of have this undulation slightly, you know, they're a little bit wavy, which is fun. So yeah, it's actually a really cool plant. I would love for you guys to join me on the journey of taking care of it and figuring out what it wants and all of that. This next plant on my favorites list, if you follow me on Instagram, this probably shouldn't be a surprise because I feel like I've been talking about this plant a lot. And it's my anthurium crystallinum. And oh my gosh, I just recently repotted this plant into this clear pot so I can be nosy and look at the roots. Okay, so this plant is honestly such a fast grower, especially compared to like my anthurium clarinervium that has been an absolute slowpoke for me. I got it very recently and it's already put out 2 leaves for me. So, and there are actually 2 plants in this, which I had no idea that was the case until I repotted it, but there's 2 individual plants in with the 1 pot, which I think is always a huge bonus. This was the first leaf that it gave me in my care. It did start emerging while it was still in my humidity box, so it's honestly quite flawless. Beautiful. And then this one, it also started coming out while it was in the humidity box, but I don't know, something happened along the way. It got stuck and I had to kind of like unstick it. So unfortunately it did kind of rip itself as it was emerging, and it's still growing, still hardening off, but it is gonna be a bit of a deformed leaf, but honestly, it's okay, I don't mind. I'm just in love with how red the leaves are as they come in, because I think that's the coolest thing ever. I love it when leaves change color when they come in, like the Florida Ghost and the philodendron summer glory, like all those types of plants I just love, because I love watching the process of the leaves changing color. It's really satisfying. So yes, that's the main reason that I'm in love with this plant. It's been a fast grower for me, and also, would you believe it, he's already got another little growth point starting up down there. Do you see that? I mean, the leaves are kind of all in the way, but there's another one right there. I don't know if you can see it, but I swear it's there. So it's like a new little spike is popping up. But yeah, I mean, this plant is super cool and it's been super easy going for me so far, which is great for a velvet-leafed anthurium. I don't have a ton of experience with velvet-leafed anthurium or anthurium in general. I'm just sort of starting to break into the genus, but so far, I'm having a very positive experience with this one. So if you've never owned an anthurium before and you're a total newbie like I am, but you do have like some experience with plants, have a humidifier, but like, you know, not necessarily a greenhouse cabinet, that's where I'm at, you know? This is not in 100% humidity by any means, especially during the winter right now. It's pretty much, with my humidifier running, it's been like 50% humidity typically in the space where it's at, but it's still pretty happy, all things considered. So it's a bit of a shame that this leaf ripped. I kind of expect that to happen. It's par for the course with anthurium, but every so often you do get a flawless leaf like that. Intermittent rewards, that produces like the most dopamine for your brain anyways. Next is my Hoya polyneura. Wow, okay, just admire the beauty first and foremost. There is, of course, you know, the obligatory, hey, there's sulfur fungicide spotting because we're all treating for flat mites right now. But look at her. She has just started growing this new shoot for me. Do you see this one right here? Yeah, she started with this leaf for me, and then this pair of leaves, and now this pair of leaves. And then there's also this pair of leaves, which I believe, or no, was it this one? I think, yeah, this pair of leaves was also new. So she's been growing like a beast for me the last like month and a half or so, and is showing no signs of stopping because look at these newest leaves. I want to be really careful because I don't want to, you know, mess with them too much, but they're just so cute coming in like that. Oh my goodness. And okay, for a moment I was kind of convinced that this was like a pest issue, but then I looked closer and I realized that this leaf right here, so there is obviously sulfur fungicide, but if you look even closer, there's actual splashing on this leaf, you know, because Hoyas splash a little bit sometimes, especially, you know, I think it's mostly genetics, but like, do you see these little like silvery splashes right here? That's such a treat because when I bought this plant, like none of the leaves really had any splashing, but yeah, these two recent leaves that just came out for me have like actual splashing to them, which is so happy, isn't it? Look at that. And no, it's not sulfur splash. It's like actual splashing. You kind of have to look beyond the sulfur to see it, but, and I hope that these next new leaves that are coming in right here also have the splash. So yeah, I'm happy with this plant because it's just growing really well for me and it seems really happy and that makes me happy. I love you. Keep loving me, please. The last plant on the list, I do have one plant product, but the last plant on my list is another Hoya, and it's my Hoya lacunosa super silver or Croniana super silver. But first of all, let's just take a moment to admire. Of course, that's obligatory on plant YouTube. You gotta take a moment. But okay, I'm gonna insert a picture. I'm gonna find the picture or footage or something of this plant a few months ago, just a few months ago. The girl has taken off. Oh my gosh. Like every time I look at this plant, there's like a new leaf shooting off. It's been so fast. It's like I blinked and it was like, hi, I'm really growing for you now. And I was like, what? Because when I first got her, it took her a really long time to grow. And then I treated her for flat mites and then she just was like, okay, I'm alive. And the leaves are so beautiful, especially this little tendril right here. The leaves on this one in particular are so silver. And you guys, I got this plant for such a deal too. Like, I think it was $12, if that. Just look at that, holy moly. That's more silver than green right there. But she doesn't seem to mind. She's really thriving a lot. There is this one tendril that's mostly green, like kind of splashy, but mostly green. That's all I really have to say. It's just like, wow, this plant has just suddenly taken off for me. Okay, and then the last thing I just want to mention really fast, I finally decided to get heat mats. So I got a pack of 2 off Amazon for pretty cheap. I honestly don't feel like the brand matters that much. I got whatever this is, like Met something, but I know there's also like, I think this is like a knockoff of the Vivo Sun ones because I think those ones are more expensive, but they seem pretty much the exact same to me. But I just use these underneath my prop boxes because my propagation boxes are like up in the attic and it's a finished attic, so technically it gets heat, but the heat does not really reach up there that well. So obviously when it's really cold outside, it gets pretty cold in that room, like down to like 55 degrees or so, which is not ideal for propagations. So I just put these heat mats down under them. They don't get super hot. They get, you know, warm to the touch, but not like hot to the touch or scalding or anything like that. And they just keep the prop boxes in the realm of like 70 to 80 degrees, which is really nice, because now they're actually really growing and thriving and super happy. Whereas before, since it was winter time, like they just weren't that, please. I have noticed a difference, but I've only been using them for a couple of weeks, so like I don't have any long-term proof to show, but I just wanted to say that I really like those heat masks this month. Okay, I'll keep you guys updated, but I gotta wrap up really quickly because he's hungry. He's done with me filming right now. So yeah, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, please feel free to leave a like, comment, subscribe, all those things, and I'm gonna go feed my child. I hope that you guys have a wonderful and blessed day. Bye-bye.